don't want to blog.com, 'cause you don't have the time. You can focus on your job while we blog for you. Check out the website and you'll see.
Hi, welcome to Be Seen Blogging. I'm your host, Jen Miller, and today's episode, number 14, is Will Blogging Boost My E-Commerce Website Sales? It includes blogging ideas that go beyond e-commerce, so listen in even if you don't have a shop yourself. I've had some calls recently about whether there is value to adding blog posts to an e-commerce website. Intrinsically, I'm sure you already know that I'm going to say the answer is yes, but I thought it might be helpful to explain why to anyone who might be wondering that same thing. And I also want to point you in the direction of where you can go to get more advice. So on today's show, I'm going to run through some reasons why you need to be blogging on your e-commerce site, and then you'll get to listen in on a conversation I recently had with Scott Buscemi, founder of Luminary, an e-commerce consultancy company in Los Angeles. So first off, let's go to the why of blogging on an e-commerce site. The number one reason is that you need traffic to your site in order to sell your products, and blog posts engage potential customers, so they'll bring that traffic. The number two reason is that your competition is probably not taking the time to do it, which means that if you do it, you'll have the advantage. The third reason is that the basics of search engine optimization, or SEO, are that you need to add keywords into your site so that search engines know what it is about. Your blog is a natural way to do this. Each blog post builds your site with a new page that will be indexed and categorized by topic. Plus, other vendors and customers may link to your posts or share them, further enhancing the ROI or return on investment for that blog post. Need ideas on topics for your e-commerce blog? Why don't you write on a challenge your readers face or answer a question you've been asked by one of your customers? Don't be afraid to get personal about how you may have experienced something similar. Readers love to share in your experience. Speaking of this, a behind-the-scenes post is always fun for you and for your reader. Disclose secrets about your business, specific products, or the industry at large. Include a video of your warehouse or employees packaging a box to be mailed with care. Use this type of post to get personal. Tell recent client testimonials and your reaction or response to getting them. Again, this adds a human touch to your e-commerce shop, as do tutorials on how to use your products. All of these show that you care. Reveal how you got started and what changes your business has made over the years to better serve your clients. This is an excellent post to write when you are rolling out new systems to make the customer experience better. Sharing yourself or your team in your blog post builds trust in your company. It gives people more to hold on to than fast shipping or high quality. It makes your business real, and it gives people and publications a reason to repeat your story. And with e-commerce, repeats, whether they are sales or visitors, are always a bonus. With that in mind, let's turn to Scott Buscemi, an e-commerce consultant who focuses on helping clients build their brands on the web and recognizes the importance of being human in e-commerce and business.
Scott, can you tell our audience a little bit about who you are and what you do?
Yeah. So first of all, thanks for having me on. My name is Scott Buscemi. I run Luminary Web Strategy. I'm based out of Los Angeles, California. And we are an e-commerce consulting partner for e-commerce websites. So we help people that are looking to build an online store or membership site either build, maintain, or grow their site online.
Perfect. And Scott and I have met through the WordPress community. We've gone to several WordCamps together, and we both have interest in blogging and content and seeing where we can develop things. And so I wanted to have you on the show so you could kind of talk about what you do with e-commerce clients in terms of content and what issues you face with that. Because I know it's a dynamic field where, you know, products are changing a lot.
Sure. So one big issue that a lot of new websites run into, or a lot of people run into when they're building a website for the first time, or even the second time or third time, is that they always take their budget for their website and put 100% of it towards the development. So it sounds weird for me to be a development shop and say, hey, don't always do that. but a lot of people will run out of money before they launch or when they launch and won't have additional funds for marketing, for content marketing, for all the other things that make it so that people actually run to their site. So
right.
At least that's what we handle for the most part is what happens when somebody gets onto the site. So how they interact with the site, how we deal with conversion optimization, how we get more people turning into customers, and that's where kind of the parts that we handle. But there's a lot of other aspects of making sure that people actually find out about you and that you're actually crafting a unique story about your company and your product.
How do you guide them into crafting that story and talking about their product?
That's something we definitely help in the consulting side of making sure that what's actually being built is necessary in the world, right? So that's one thing that we focus on is actually building products or building sites that we love, that we actually could see as valuable businesses and ones that would grow and become something bigger. So there are some times where we are approached by people that want projects that we personally or professionally don't really see as viable or as having a good potential for success. And we'll actually, before we even, we won't even propose any development for them, and we'll kind of at least relay in a nice way why we don't think it's a good fit for us. Because I'd rather work with the companies that it's not like we're future seers and we know that everyone that we pick is going to be successful, but we'd rather work with people that are doing innovative things that really are unique and beyond what other people are doing out there.
Great. Okay. So to get those people who are doing the innovative things that you want to work with, how do you do your own marketing? How are you? I love the name of your company, Luminary. You're helping them to see their way through the path of how to market their sites and set up their sites and that type of thing. But how do you do your own marketing in your company? Do you blog?
Sure.
Do you have a website?
So for us, and it's always the shoemaker's shoes situation. Recently this year, I've been aiming to do more content marketing through my own blogging, being more interactive on Twitter, and for the most part, most of our referrals or most of our leads are either referrals, people that I've met at WordCamp or other conferences, and so we're a verified Woo expert for WooCommerce, and people. There's lots and lots of people that actually go through that listing. Not to give our secrets away, but there's lots of people that can go through that listing and then actually find us that way. And we're also the trusted consultant for easy digital downloads, and that's another e-commerce platform on top of WordPress. And
right.
A lot of people fill out the form to contact us that way.
Okay, excellent. And do you do personal marketing beyond that? I know that you have a content marketing mastermind group that you run where you help other people to set their content goals. What content goals do you set for yourself? How do you manage that as a busy business owner?
Sure, and if anyone's interested in joining, we meet once a week on Thursdays, and we talk about our 3 goals for the week in terms of what we want to complete. If it's a blog post, if it's a blog, if it's a podcast, and then the next week we actually talk about how we did with those 3, and then the goals for the next week. So, and if anyone's interested, you can always shoot me an email, scott@luminary.ws. But personally, that's something where I'm almost in more of like a planning phase right now for next steps in terms of my own content marketing. I'm kind of changing some things up in terms of the marketing aspects or the marketing techniques that I'm doing. And then even I'm extending that into my own personal content side where I want to start posting a lot more of my drone videos. So having the Mastermind group, though, does have that constant reminder that client work isn't always marketing. I mean, it's a good way to get referrals, but there's always the need to write blog posts and get content out there.
Right. And your drone videos, I've seen a couple of them. They're very good. You're having fun with it, too, I can tell. And sometimes showing that personal side really, I think, helps clients to relate to us better and gives them a better feel for us. You were telling me earlier about a client where something went wrong with the project, and because you have a personal relationship, you were able to resolve the issue and help them through it without losing the client. And I think that's so important that we have that communication and that we realize that the content is great, right? And search engines are awesome. We can get people to come to our site. But it's not only about that. There's a whole other side of building that relationship. And
exactly,
you're using social media, you're using Twitter in particular, you said, to have the softer side of Scott be shown, right?
Right, and I think it's important for your clients to know that you're not just a bunch of text in their email browsers, in their email clients, because it's hard to have a relationship with somebody if all you see is a bunch of text. I've been focusing a lot on doing more phone calls with clients as well as even video calls or, if possible, in-person meetings. And it really just makes you human. It makes it so that they understand you are personally putting in that effort. You are personally spending time and dedicating to talking to them and understanding what they want. And they see you as a human that has struggles with maybe trying to solve a problem that they're throwing at you, or they can see how hard you're working to meet certain timelines. So that's one thing where within my own content, I'm trying to make it so it's not just, that we're a development shop or we're just yet another development shop, that we actually are human, and that's what makes us special.
Exactly. A few weeks, actually it was probably a month and a half ago now, but I went up to LA to listen to Simon Sinek speak, and there was my friend Bridget, and Scott took time out of his day to connect with us. He actually rode his bike over to the hotel we were at to, spend some time and get to know us on a more personal level. And it's so nice when those friendships develop. For us, the WordPress community, right? That's where we started together. But we continued that friendship. It wasn't just a one-time meeting, and I really get to feel like that's kind of the way that you do business throughout, and from what you're saying, that's verified. So I really appreciate that, and I appreciate you taking the time to be on the call today so that we could let people know about what you do. And I wanted to ask you also, so development, do you do more than WordPress sites, or do you stick to that platform?
So for the most part, we stick with WordPress. I would say probably 95% of our projects. But a lot of the times our proposals won't even mention the word WordPress. So for us, it's more about solving a problem rather than using a platform. It just so happens that WordPress, because we're familiar with it, because it's 30% of the web, because there's so many plugins that are available and ways to extend it, that it's the most efficient way to solve these problems that people are having.
If somebody wanted to contact you because maybe they have an Etsy shop or a different platform that they're interested in building out or learning about, would you be open to having that conversation? And if so, how can they book time with you?
Sure. So you can actually go onto our website, Luminary, LUMINARY.WS, and there's a little tab called Work With Us, and you can fill it out. I'm always happy to talk to people that have Etsy shops, Wix sites, Weebly store sites, Squarespace sites, because sometimes WordPress really, or building your own store isn't the solution. I remember one time I also had somebody that they were selling everything on eBay, and they wanted to build their own e-commerce store. But when I asked them where they actually were going to get customers, where the people were going to find out about them, they had no plan, and they didn't have any funds to actually build that. So it turns out it was actually a better idea for them to stick with eBay and pay the higher fee, but eBay finds the clients for them. So that's the conversation that I can always have to help people and kind of consult with them to get them in the right direction.
Great. Okay, and if people want to find you on Twitter, Facebook, I don't know what social media that you're using that you have as a public persona?
Yeah, so you can always find me on Twitter at Scott, S-C-O-T-T, Buscemi, B-U-S-C-E-M-I, just like the like the actor spells it.
All right. Thank you so much, Scott. I really appreciated the fact that you made time for us today.
And thank you, audience, for tuning in today. I'm Jen Miller. You can find me on Twitter at JenBlogsForYou or on my website at needsomeoneToblog.com. If you liked what you heard today, please review this podcast, Be Seen Blogging, on iTunes. Thank you, and I'll talk to you next week. Bye-bye.
Need someone to blog.com, 'cause you don't have the time. You can focus on your job while we blog for you. Check out the website and you'll see. Try it out and become an icon of your industry. We will develop a voice for your blog to